So I've done some videos lately when I've talked about the importance of controlling where the low point of your swing is, so that when you swing, you get ball and then ground contact. We see a nice shot, fairly decent strike, but we can see the lowest point of my golf swing there, 3.1 inches ahead of the golf ball. Now, the little challenge is, and I've had a couple of clients come in lately as well, hence why I'm doing this video. It might not all be about controlling your low point. So today's video, I'm going to show you maybe the little secret that you've never been made aware of that's really going to help you take your ball striking consistently to the next level. So obviously I've spoken about how the golf swing is basically a big circle that moves around your body, and the fact that the club moves up, down, reaches its low point, and then travels back up. And I'm not going to go too much into how to control the low point so that the low point's ahead of the golf ball, that you just need to be aware that if the low point is ahead, we get that nice ball and then ground contact. Now, the problem is I had somebody in over the weekend, actually, particularly, who's worked really hard on getting that low point ahead. And his frustration was probably like a lot of golfers, is that he feels he's working really well on what he wants to do, but he still gets shots that are at target, that definitely hit the ground first, but we can see TrackMan showing there 3.5 inches ahead. But then equally, he can have a shot where he'll top it and still the low point there is 2.9 inches ahead. So I know what you're thinking. If getting that low point after the golf ball is all important for hitting good shots, how has Ali still got the low point ahead of the golf ball, but actually not struck the ball perfectly every time? So then the key is actually, if we use the circle theory again, is actually how low or high the arc becomes. So the danger is on that good one, we get that low point after the ball, and the low point is in the ground, so we would collect ball and then ground. But if the whole swing was lower, the low point could still be after, but I could actually enter the ground behind the ball, continue down, or if the swing was too high, I could still get my low point ahead and just touch the top of the golf ball. So the big challenge is, how do you control the height of the arc so that we can get that nice strike, get the distance and retain most of your accuracy there. So I'm going to show you a little drill using some tees, but we're then going to show you how you could even practice it on the golf ball itself. So I'm going to take just Castle tees here, and I've got the 3 different colours. I've got green, yellow and pink. I'm going to put the green at the back, then I'm going to put the yellow one about 1 inch in front, and then the pink one 1 inch in front of that. And the idea of this drill is I'm going to set up behind the green one with the club touching the ground, and when I swing, I'm going to come back deliberately higher and hit the pink tee but miss the yellow. If I'm successful there, I'm then going to start back, hit the yellow without the green, and then the green finally. So you can imagine if I'm too high, I'll miss everything. And if I'm too low, I'll potentially clean all of them out to begin with. So it looks and sounds an incredibly simple drill. It's maybe not as easy as it looks. So let's run through it and see how I do. So this is just the skill of controlling the height of the arc of your swing. So we set up behind, try and go pink first. Okay, so good. Clip the pink, didn't touch the yellow, and didn't touch the green. So that was good. Definitely felt there that I was higher. So on the next one, touch the yellow. Very close, but missed it. So too high, so a bit lower. Didn't get loads of it, but it was enough. And then move into the green. And that's good. So I know maybe watching you'll be saying, is that really such an important thing? I think it's massive. Now, let's say, for example, you don't want to be firing tees down the range. You could get the golf ball there and say, right, first one is I want to start with the club on the ground, come back and just touch the top of the golf ball. Good. Little scuttler down the range. So the next one, I'm going to try and still miss the floor, but kind of get the equator of the golf ball, so more of a thin shot. Probably got a little lower on the ball than I was trying, but again, I'm getting better and better at controlling the height of the swing. Then say, right, could I deliberately go a lot lower and actually hit the ground behind the golf ball? Yep. And these might not be great shots, but sometimes you have to work on things like this to get good at controlling the height of the arc. So then I've managed to go lower than I wanted, and I've done a few a little bit higher. Now let's see if I can just feel that I touched the ground, but I know it'll be this side of the golf ball. So I'm going to set up, focus on my movement. Felt good. Just touched the ground, so the height of my arc was good. Leaking a little bit out to the right, but contact was good on the face there, and that low point 5 inches ahead. Now, I think for a lot of golfers, what they'll say is, right, that's all well and good, and you've shown a nice little drill, and you've shown how you can do that with the ball. But potentially, what causes this with golfers? Now, definitely if you look down the line, what I tend to see with most club golfers is, even from a good address position, as they swing back, they tend to gain height. So then they've got to compensate to get back down to the golf ball. But when you watch the best players in the world, they tend to be the opposite. So as they swing back, they actually squat down slightly. And then as they turn out the way, that retains the height, because at impact, that trail arm is bent, so the swing is actually shorter. So you can imagine, if you get taller, you have to have your arms fully extended in that very weak position. So if you've struggled a little bit understanding how to control the height, do that for a couple of practice swings. So as you swing back, feel like you just squat down a little bit and then turn out the way. And definitely for me there, the arc feels a little bit lower than I would normally have it when I do that. Don't mind. So let's set up to the golf ball, feel a squat in my backswing, and then swing down as normal. Now, wasn't out the middle of the club face, but my low point was ahead. It was a little toey, decent control, and actually felt a little bit more powerful as well. So let's do 2 or 3 of those, making sure I'm losing a little bit of height on the way back. And it feels nice and powerful, feels very easy to repeat, 4.2 inches ahead. And definitely for me, obviously I'm in the range today, so I can feel the interaction with the mat. If I was on grass, if I had a criticism with my iron shots, even though the low point's good, I would tend to say my divots are a little bit on the shallow side, or sometimes non-existent. So if my arc was a little bit lower, as long as that low point's far enough in front to get that ball and then ground contact, I'm going to get more compression on the club, hit the ball further, and for me, I have a little bit more control because my hands aren't going to be as active. So let's go one final one, controlling the height of the arc. That feels absolutely superb. And all joking aside, I'll probably get some comments about this being another secret to good ball striking, but not a lot of golfers out there, I think, ever have it mentioned to them about the height of the arc. And I think if you're not aware of it, it's something that can change without you realising, really affect the quality of your shots, and then ultimately affect your enjoyment for the game. And if you can work on that skill of controlling the bottom of the arc, if you can control the height of the arc and the low point, it really genuinely is going to take your ball striking consistently to the next level and help you play better golf. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's another video just there that hopefully you'll enjoy, help you with your game. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.